Yo, people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to Eli Talks Football. Hope you guys are doing all right today. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bonus notification as well. And yeah, it has been a minute, man. It has been a minute. I haven't been able to do a bit of content since the international break. I've been so busy, but I did enjoy myself. I've been to a few places, had a great time speaking to my friends, especially the ones I haven't seen for a long time. So, yeah, man, yeah, I really enjoyed myself, and I know you guys at home enjoyed it too. So listen, the Premier League is back, the international break is over until the first week, until a month's time. So yeah, Chelsea have got 5 games before the international break, and I'll go for them when I'm doing the preview for the Brentford game, which will be out tomorrow. So make sure you guys tune into that one and check it out. But today is game week 4 of this weekend's Premier League predictions. We got some big games. We got the West London Derby. Ange Postecoglou is back because Nuno got sacked and he is back. We got London Derby between West Ham and Tottenham. But the big one, the game of the weekend, is the Manchester Derby at the Etihad, which is in the city of Manchester. City versus United. Will Manchester be blue or red at the end of that game? We're gonna have to wait and see, and there will be a live watch along on that one. So make sure you guys tune into that one. It is going to be such a big game. Looking forward to that one. So yes, today is all about Premier predictions for game week number 4. We have seen teams remain unbeaten, and we have seen teams that drop points, and also we have seen teams that haven't won any game and particularly haven't even scored. So maybe that could all change by this weekend. So we're gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, make sure you guys like, share, comment, subscribe, and if you got your predictions, do let me know in the comments below. So without further ado, let's go. So we have our first game of game week 4, and it is the mighty Gooners facing Nottingham Forest, but under the new manager Ange Postecoglou. That's right, people. He is back in the Premier League after he got sacked by Tottenham at the end of their game against Brighton. Their final game against Brighton, he is back because Nuno got sacked by the Marquis for Nottingham Forest, and Ange Postecoglou is back. So it's going to be very interesting to see what he does. Now, the question is, would Ange Postecoglou be defensive the way he did the Europa League final against Tottenham? Against Man United, or would he go out attack? Because the only way for Arsenal to stop scoring a lot of goals and not win games, is to play low block. And that's the only way that Arsenal seem to struggle. But when teams attack Arsenal, they look the much better team, Arsenal. So to me, it's going to be very interesting. If Ange Postecoglou goes out and attack, then I feel like Forest would get battered, let's say like 4-0, 5-0. But if he can go defensive, if he can do what he did against Man United, then maybe Nottingham Forest might get something against Arsenal. So that's going to be a very interesting game. It really is. So it's a lunchtime kickoff. Arsenal do well at early kickoffs. I can't remember the last time they lost at an early kickoff like this. So, and it's at the Emirates Stadium. If this was at Nottingham Forest Stadium, then boy, maybe Forest might get to win. But it's at the Emirates Stadium. Forest have a poor record at the Emirates Stadium. So yeah, I think Arsenal will get the job done. If Nuno was still in charge, then I think for me that Arsenal will win comfortably. But it's going to be a very tough game. And when it comes to new manager bounce, Arsenal sometimes don't tend to do well. You've seen it under David Moyes. Who else? Yeah, David Moyes, who else? Sean Dyche as well. We've seen it so many times where, players, the clubs like their managers, and then when Arsenal have their game on, they seem to get a win. So for me, listen, it all depends on Ange Postecoglou what he does. So, but listen, I think Arsenal win this game. I feel like they are going to win this game. Not comfortably though, because it's going to be a tough game. But I feel like they are going to win this game. So for this game on Saturday earlier kickoff, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Arsenal win because they did lose against Liverpool, but they were good defensively. Like Arsenal's, like the one thing I will say is that Arsenal's defense, their goalkeeper and their midfield is one of the best. It's one of the best. But their attack is just poor. It really is poor. Gabriel Martinelli, though, like, he does well for Brazil. But when it comes to Arsenal, shocking. Shocking. Victor Yokeres, I only scored 2 goals so far, but I still think he will be scoring more than 20 goals. If he doesn't, then that would be a very disappointing. Mountain Madueke, though, I hate to say this as a Chelsea fan, but he's been doing really good for both club and country. He played against Serbia and looked really good. He played against what is it, Andorra, and looked good as well. And in Liverpool game, he was Arsenal's best attacker. So as much haters to say this, Madueke looks really good. I don't think he's better than Saka because I heard some people saying that he's better than Saka. Absolutely not. Whoever says that is the most deluded fan ever in the world. But I think for me, Madueke has been cooking for Arsenal. So let's see what he does, man. Let's see what he does. So I hate to say this, but I've got to be real and I've got to be honest. Madueke is looking good for Arsenal. So let's see how Mikel Arteta can do. But yeah, I'm gonna go 2-1 to Arsenal. The goal scorers for Arsenal, I'm going to go for Victor Yokeres and probably Declan Rice because when it comes to set pieces, he's really good at it. Whether it's from free kicks or corners, his delivery is really good. So I'm going to go for him to score. For Forest, I'm probably going to have to go for Chris Wood, and that's basically it. I feel like Arsenal will just ruin Ange Postecoglou's return to the Premier League. So yeah, 2-1 to them. All right. The next game is Bournemouth versus Brighton, of course. Let me just quickly have a look at the previous results and the table as well. So, Bournemouth did win against Tottenham and 1-0. Whereas for Brighton, they won against City. So both teams won. And yeah, so but yeah, Bournemouth really impressed me, because they had like if I read out the stats for you, you're gonna be very surprised. Look at these stats. Bournemouth had 20 shots, which is quadruple more than Tottenham, which is 5. They had six shots on target and only scored 1 goal. And even though Tottenham, had the possession, more pass and all that stuff, Bournemouth could have destroyed Tottenham. They were really good, really, really good. For Brighton, though, in the first half, they were all right, but they did go 1-0 down. But in the second half, we all saw that Brighton, when it comes to the second half against big teams, they can do it. I'm not surprised here that I predicted a Brighton win of 2-1. And by the way, people, I'd just like to say this, I'm doing well so far in, so far. I had 2 correct scores. The Sunderland win against who was it? Against Brentford, I think. And then the 2-1 win Brighton win against Man City. I'm not surprised, because Brighton have a good win against the Big Six at the Amex Stadium. And also, Man City's defense isn't that great. And also, Brighton are the first team to end Rodri's unbeaten one whenever he starts. So it looks like Rodri ain't gonna break that Arsenal's record at all. So there we go. So I'm not surprised, I'm not surprised. So both teams are really good, but I think Bournemouth for me have been more impressive than Brighton because if I look at the table right now, it's basically 6th versus 8th. So if I look at the Premier League table, sorry, it's 7th against 11th. Bournemouth, 2 wins, 1 loss, and now on the opening day against Liverpool. Whereas Brighton, 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss so far. So yeah, so 2 points separate both teams. So if Brighton win, they go above Bournemouth. If Bournemouth win, they could be in second place, for now. So that's going to be a very interesting game. It really, really is. So for this game, I'm going to go for a Bournemouth win because they're at home and they looked really good. They looked really good. So I'm going to go for Bournemouth win of, let's go for 2-1. Let's go because I wanted to go for 3-1, but Brighton are a really good team. But Bournemouth, they're at home. They really impressed me, And I think Semenyo has been good so far for Bournemouth, and that's why, yeah, I'm so glad, yeah, I'm so glad that whoever the fan, made wasted coming to Semenyo, I hope that fan feels ashamed of himself because ever since then, Semenyo has been really good for Bournemouth, and that's why you can never ever be waste for someone because it will backfire you. It really would. So big up to Semenyo, man. Big up to him. He's doing fantastically well. So I think he's going to score maybe once or twice. I'm not quite sure. For Brighton, don't know who's going to be scoring for them. But all I know is that Bournemouth are going to get this win because they have been really impressive, especially in the game against Tottenham. So yeah, 2-1 to Bournemouth is going to be my prediction for that game on a Saturday. Then we move on into Crystal Palace versus Sunderland. Three teams are unbeaten. One of them is Crystal Palace, and they've only conceded one goal. Only one, which is really impressive. So, yeah, they're up against Sunderland, who got 2 wins out of 3, but most of them are at the Stadium of Light. So yeah, listen. In terms of this game, I think Palace are going to remain unbeaten because Oliver Garcia is doing a fantastic job. But like I said, I feel sorry for them. They're not in the Europa League. I really do. But Oliver Garcia, he's a proper manager. He really is. He really is. And it's basically and he's basically eighth against sixth because Sunderland are above them by points because Crystal Palace have drawn 2 games, only had 1 win. Only had one, and that was away to Villa Park, when they beat them 3-0. So there we go. But I think Crystal Palace will get that first home win of the season. I feel like they are going to get it. So for this game, I'm going to go for a 2-0 Crystal Palace win because I wanted to go for like the usual 3-1, but you know, but Burnley beat them 2-0 at Turf Moor, and I believe Palace are going to do the same thing. So yeah, 2-0. Goal scorers, Jon Philip attempted to score, and maybe Mark Gray here. By the way, that goal from Mark Gray is absolutely fantastic. A defender, that wanted to go to Liverpool and decided to stay at Villa is absolutely amazing. So yeah, 2-0 to Palace. It's going to be my prediction for that game. Lots of 2 goals, which is really weird. The next game, of course, is Everton versus Aston Villa. Aston Villa are the only team so far to not score, let alone win, because they drew to Newcastle. Yeah, they drew to Newcastle. They lost against the Crystal Palace. Who else did they lose to? Oh yeah, Brentford. Look at this: 0 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses. -4 goal difference. And they're lucky that Wolves are worse than them. They really are. But Villa are the only team to not score. So Una Emery is under a bit of pressure here. He's under pressure because because for me, I still believe that Villa, I don't think they'll finish fifth, but I feel like they might finish in the top half. But if they don't do that this season, then maybe Una Emery might get sacked this season. They might do, but it's 3 games in, so let's just hope that the international break will work for Villa. So, but yeah, Dickinson Park, boy oh boy. Everton as well. They're doing really good so far. They've under David Moyes. They're in 5th place. They've only lost 1 game, and that was against who did they lose to? Let me just have a quick look. Who did Everton lose to? 1 second. Who did they lose to? Oh yeah, no. Hold on. Oh yeah, they lost their opening game, which was. Let me just have a look. They lost to Leeds, and that was a robbery because I didn't think that was a handball at that time. So they only lost 1 game, but they won 2 games in a row. And yeah, David Moyes is doing really good for Everton. He really is. So for this game, I feel like Villa might score, because Brighton, if they would have taken those chances, they could have won that game. They really couldn't. But the one thing I will say is that Everton don't have a good, like, Aston Villa has a good record at the Dickinson Stadium. So let me just quickly read you the stats. So yeah, so listen to this. Everton are winless in the last 12 Premier League matches against Aston Villa, all since Villa returned to the competition in the 1920 season, which is drawing 3 and losing 9. Their last win was in March 2016, a 3-0 win at Villa Park. So this is a concern for Everton, it really is. But, under David Moyes, I feel like that record could break. I'm big up to Patrick as well, because he said to me, all records has to be broken, and that's what Liverpool did. They broke they broke Arsenal's record, against the Big Six. So maybe Everton might break that record against Aston Villa. So yeah, for this game, I'm gonna go for an Everton win of. I think Villa are gonna score, and they have to. I'll be very surprised if this game ends in a 2-0 Everton win, because Villa have to score, and it's a must-win game for Villa, especially because the only team here to not score and to not win is just really bad. So the pressure is on Una Emery. If he doesn't win this game, then oh boy, there's going to be some questions about him, and his future for Aston Villa. But yeah, David Moyes so far, yeah, they're going to get this win. So yeah, 2-1 to them. Goal scorers, I'm going to go for Beto and Jack Grealish. I feel like he may get a goal. I feel like he will do. For Villa, though, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, Grealish has been cooking for Everton. He really has. So yeah, 2-1 to Everton is going to be my prediction for that game as well. Lots of 3 p.m. kickoffs here. Jesus. The next one is Fulham versus Leeds United. And by the way, Fulham goal of the month in August was Anthony King's goal disallowed against us. So there you go. It's just weird. I've never seen a club put in a disallowed goal into the goal of the month. I never seen that one before. But many fans think they got robbed, and I have to agree with them. So that was their goal of the month. So yeah, but yeah, they're up against Leeds United at Craven Cottage. Yeah, listen, Fulham have been good despite losing against us. They were really good. They really are. And if I look at the table right now, Fulham are in 18th because they drawn 2 games and lost against my team. So yeah, so it's only Newcastle, Fulham, Villa, and Wolves looking for their first win of the season. And I feel like Fulham will be the only one to get it, and Newcastle as well. I'm not quite sure against Villa and Wolves, but we'll get to them in just a minute. But yeah, I think Fulham are going to get their first win because Leeds United are a good team, but so far, um, for Leeds United, they've won against Everton, they lost against Arsenal, and they drew against who did they drew to? 1 minute. Who did Leeds drew to against Newcastle? So yeah, away from home, Leeds United sometimes can be good, but sometimes can be awful. But yeah, Craven Cottage is a difficult place to go to. It really is. So for this game, I'm gonna go for a Fulham win of. Let's go for. Let's go for 3-0. Let's go for 3-0 because Leeds United, I feel like for me they'll still be relegated because of Daniel Fogg, but maybe it could all change. Maybe. But yeah, 3-0 Fulham. They're gonna get their first win. They are a really good team. They really are. So yeah, 3-0 to Fulham. Goal scorers, maybe Anthony King might actually get a goal, and I'll be very surprised if he doesn't. I'll be very surprised. Alex Iwobi and Emil Smith Rowe. So yeah, 3-0 to Fulham. They are going to get their first win. I have no doubt about that one. 3-0 to them. All right, the next one is Newcastle versus Wolves. Of course, Wolves are rock bottom because they lost 3 games in a row. They didn't manage to score goals, but they lost 3 games in a row. For Newcastle, though, I believe they've drawn 2 games. I think. Yeah, they drawn 2 games and they only lost one, which was against Crystal Palace. So yeah, I think for me that Newcastle, despite not winning, they have been a really good team. There's still not going to be Ansi Gordon because he got a red card against Liverpool. But I think Newcastle are going to be a really good team. Do I think they're going to finish in like the top five? I don't think so. I really don't. But I feel like this season they are going to be alright. I feel like they might finish in Europe, but not the Champions League. So we'll wait to see what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna go for a Newcastle win on this one. I really am. They're gonna they're gonna beat Wolves because Wolves so far have been absolutely terrible. Their only win was in the Carabao Cup, and that was against West Ham, which are a really bad team. But yeah, Newcastle right now, sorry, Wolves right now, not been that great. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a 3-0 Newcastle win. Goal scorers, I'm gonna go for Anthony Elanga, maybe Dan Burn, and Bruno Guimaraes to score. So yeah, 3-0 to Newcastle. Wolves for me, if they continue to lose games, then maybe they could be the team that's more likely to be relegated. I I don't think that's going to be the case. But yeah, it's a must-win game for both teams, especially Wolves. But I feel like Newcastle are going to get this win because the James Park is still a difficult place to go to. It really is. So yeah, 3-0 to Newcastle is going to be my prediction. All right, the next one. Boy, look at this. So many Saturday games. 8 of them is on a Saturday, only 2 of them on a Sunday. Weird. That is so weird. But yeah, the next one is a London derby. East versus North. London derby. West Ham United versus Tottenham. Of course, West Ham got their first defeat of the season, but that was against Bournemouth, who by the way got dominated by them. They really have. Whereas for West Ham, they got their first one of the season, and that was against Forest. By the way, I didn't expect that to happen. I really didn't. So maybe that pressure might be off for Graham Potter, but some fans are still questioning him. Now, for this game, it's a must-win game for West Ham because if Graham Potter wants to ease off the pressure by both the fans and the media, then he has to win this game. He really has to. Now, listen, Tottenham, despite them have a really good team, they have a poor record at the London Stadium. Let me read you the stats for that one so you guys were able to understand what I mean. So, West Ham have won just one of the last 7 Premier League matches against Tottenham, a 2-1 away win in December 2023. Each of the last 3 Premier meetings between West Ham and Spurs at the London Stadium ended in 1-1 draws. Spurs are winless in the last 5 visits since a 3-2 win in November 2019, which is getting close to 6 years ago now. So, listen, despite Tottenham have a good team, they have a really poor record at the London Stadium. So yeah, this one is going to be interesting. Now, I would not be surprised if Tottenham win this game. I would not be because Tottenham are a really good team, and also Mohamed Kudus is going back to his former club. So this is basically the Mohamed Kudus derby. So it's going to be interesting to see what the West Ham will do when he comes out of the tunnel. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. So let's see if he can do well against his former club. Let's see, but I have a doubt about that one because I feel like West Ham fans will probably boo more than cheer for Mohamed Kudus. So there you go. For this game, I wanted to go for Tottenham win, but since Tottenham have a bad record at the London Stadium, I'm just going to predict a draw again. But like I said, I will not be surprised if either Tottenham win. I'll be more surprised if West Ham win than Tottenham because that win against Forest did surprise me. It really did. You know. But West Ham, still haven't been that great. But if they can put on that same performance as they did against Forest away, then I feel like West Ham can do something against Tottenham. It just all depends what Thomas Frank can do. But yeah, I'm gonna go for a 1-1 draw. West Ham goal scorer Jao Bommy because he lost scoring against Tottenham. For Tottenham though, maybe I might have to go for either a Charlison or Mohamed Kudus. So yeah, 1-1 join that one. So there we go. And then we have got an 8 p.m. kickoff for the first time this season, and it's Brentford versus Chelsea in a West London derby. So yeah, so I'm not going to talk about this too much because I'm going to be doing a preview for that. So make sure you guys tune into that one. But all I know is that Chelsea I'm gonna get this win because Brentford don't have a good record against Chelsea at GK Community Stadium. No good record at all, you know. So I think we are gonna get this win, because we are starting to look good in front of goal. And when it comes to set pieces, we have been improving, you know. And João Pedro has scored half of them, and he's been looking good as well. He has been looking good. So yeah, I'm gonna explain more on that one in the preview, but I'm gonna bet my team to win. I'm gonna go 2-1 because it is gonna be a very tough game, especially going to GTO Kunta Stadium. But we have to get this win, and let's hope we can end this draw at the Community Stadium and get 3 points. That's what I'm hoping for. So yeah, I'm gonna back my team to win 2-1. Brentford's goal scorer, not sure who, but for Chelsea, I'm gonna go for João Pedro and hopefully Estevao because he deserves a goal, man. He really does. So I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Chelsea win. I'm backing my boys to win, and hopefully they don't let me down on that game. So yeah, 2-1 to Chelsea, and there will be a live watch along and a match reaction after that. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that one. So there we go. And then we got 2 games on a Super Sunday. So the first game, of course, is Burnley versus Liverpool. Of course, Burnley, did lose their last game, I think. Let me just see. What was Burnley's last game? Yeah, they did lose their last game. The only win they've got was against Sunderland, and that was at home. Yeah, they lost 3-2. And by the way, I think Man United got very lucky, very lucky. But it would listen. It would not surprise me if Burnley can get a result against Liverpool because last season, especially in the Championship, they do well at Turf Moor. Only fewest goals conceded, keeping clean sheet after clean sheet after clean sheet. So I'll not be surprised if Burnley can do something. But listen, Liverpool, they can have a really bad performance, but they can win games because that's what champions do. You look at the likes of Chelsea, women, we used to have bad games, but we managed to win late on because that's what champions do. So listen, if Liverpool can have a bad performance then win, then no one can complain because winning games all that matters. And I keep saying this as well. I don't care, yeah, if Chelsea have a stinky performance or have a scintillating performance. All I expect Chelsea to do is to get a win, get the job done, get the 3 points, then I'll be happy. Because if we play really good football, end up dropping points, then I'm going to be disappointed. So for me, for me, Liverpool fans will say the same thing. They really would. So for me, I feel like in this game, I feel like Liverpool are going to concede, but they're going to get this win. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 Liverpool win. And also, Alexander Isak will be making his debut for Liverpool. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can do in that game. So obviously, he's not going to be able to start, but he will be on the bench. So obviously, Ekitike is going to be starting. So it's going to be interesting to see what Alexander Isak can do, but he will make his debut against Burnley. So definitely going to be seeing what he can do. But yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-1 Liverpool win. Burnley goal scorer, not sure who, but for Liverpool, I'm going to go for Mo Salah, Hugo Ekitike, and maybe Virgil van Dijk. So yeah, 3-1 Liverpool is going to be my prediction for that game on a Sunday. So yeah, and Alexander Isak will be making his debut. So there we go. Last and not least, people, we have got the Manchester Derby. City versus United at the Etihad Stadium. Now, before I get into my interesting prediction, let me read you this stat. So, Man City have won 5 of their last 8 Premier League matches against Man United, though they failed to win either game last season for the first time since 2020-2021. Of course, it was 2-1 to Man United at the Etihad, and then it was a 0-0 draw at Old Trafford. Sorry, so there we go. Man United have inflicted 25% Pep Guardiola's total home Premier League defeats as a Manchester manager, with the Reds winning 4 times there against the Spaniard. They are looking for a consecutive wins at the Etihad for the first time since March 2021, of course during COVID. Since the 15-16 season, the home team has ended on the winning side in just 6 of the last 20 Premier meetings in the Manchester derby. Wow. And indeed, since then, the only Premier League fixture to see more away wins is Crystal Palace versus Liverpool, which is 12 times. Man City have lost 2 of the last 3 Premier League matches for the first time since 04-05, and those matches were at home lost against Tottenham and away lost against Brighton, by the way. While it is the fewest points ever collaborated by Pep Guardiola in his first 3 league games of a season, the last time City lost 3 of the last 4 games was in 1995-96 season. They were eventually relegated. So boys and must. So actually, I'll get to that in just a minute. And finally, Man United registered their 8th win in 30 Premier League matches under Ruben Amorim, thanks to their 3-2 win on the newly promoted Burnley in matchday 3. And of course, it only is Burnley. Half of Ruben Amorim's wins have been against promoted sides, with the Portuguese manager holding just a 60% win ratio against sides not promoted to the division that campaign, which is 4 wins in 25. So Leah, listen. Listen. In terms of who needs to win this game, is Manchester City, because as you heard that stat says, the last time City won 3 of the last 4 games in 1995-96 season, they eventually relegated. So listen, as much as Ruben Amorim, has pressure, I think the pressure has to be on Pep Guardiola, because many of us would expect Man City to win the league this season, and put Liverpool, in second place. But the fact that, so far he has not been able to, like, make the system work, it's really bad. And also Man City have got injuries here as well. Let me just tell you who they are. Let me just tell you the list of Manchester City's injuries. Um, so yeah, Cherky is injured because of a thigh injury. Kovacic is out. There is no Garvey. Um, you know, Saviso is out. Marcus Belletti is out. Kanistav is out. Phil Foden is out. John Stone is out. Cameron Phillim is out. Marmouche is out. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 injuries that Manchester United have got. Sorry, Manchester City have got 10 injuries, which is not looking good. So the fact that for me, yeah, I feel like Manchester City could have done better in the summer transfer window, but we'll see what happens. But listen, man, those 10 injuries, especially the likes of Cherky, Garth Howe, Kanisov, Phil Foden, John Stones, Mamouche. That is a concern for Manchester City. Obviously, Man United do have an injury, but it's only one. Man City have got 10, which is really, really disappointing. So, yeah, man, I don't see how Pep Guardiola is going to do, but he better change the tactics and the formation if he does want to handle the pressure. So, listen, for me as a Chelsea fan, I want Man United to win because obviously Ruben Amorim, I want it. Their next game is against my team, which is next Saturday, and I want Ruben Amorim to stay. I don't want him to go. So for me, Man United, I'm gonna back you to win. I hope you win because I want you to face. I want Ruben Amorim to stay so that we can beat him, even though it's looking like it ain't gonna happen. So listen, I'm gonna back Man United to win. I'm gonna go 2-1, the same scoreline as it was last season. I'm gonna back them to win 2-1, and I'll not be surprised because, like I say, Man United do tend to have some good record against Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium. They really do. So I'm gonna back them to win 2-1. Manchester goal scorer Erling Haaland. And by the way, Erling Haaland, man, boy, is he ready for this Manchester derby? Because it's good that he turned up against Moldova, but can he do this against Manchester United? Can you really do that like you never done before? We're gonna have to wait to see. But yeah, Erling Haaland would definitely score. For Man United, I'm gonna go for Bruno Fernandes and maybe, maybe. Can Benjamin Sesko score? I feel like he might do or might not, but all I know is that Bruno Fernandes is going to definitely score for Man United. So yeah, I'm going to back them 2-1. Come on, United. Get this win. I want Ruben Amorim to stay. I really want him to stay. So yeah, 2-1 to Man United. All right, so that is all the Premier League predictions. Let me go for them one more time. So Saturday's games, 8 of them, of course. I went for an Arsenal 2-0 win against Forest. Then 3 p.m. kickoff. I've gone for a Bournemouth 2-1 win against Brighton. Palace 2-0 win against newly promoted Sunderland. And then for a 2-1 win against Villa. A 3-0 Fulham win against Leeds. A 3-0 Newcastle win against Wolves. Then a 1-1 join between West Ham and Tottenham in a London derby. Then I've backed my team Chelsea to win 2-1 against Brentford in the West London derby. Then Super Sunday's games. I've gone for a 3-1 Liverpool win against Burnley. And then last and not least, I've gone for a 2-1 Manchester United win against Man City in the Manchester derby. So that is all my Premier predictions for game week number 4. So that is it for this video. I want to say a massive thank you, everyone that watched this video. And if you have done so, make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new to this channel. And there will be a match preview for the Brentford Chelsea game that will be out tomorrow. And there's going to be a lot of stuff to be talked about, so you guys don't miss that one. And of course, there will be a live watch along and a match reaction after the Brentford Chelsea game. And then also on Super Sunday, I will be doing the Manchester Derby live watch along, 4 o'clock UK time. So make sure you are tuning into that one. But yeah, anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And as always, up the Chels.